Okay, so we continue here. How I help clients prep for birth. I'm giving you step-by-step what I do with my clients. If you'd like a Christian doula perspective on how to prepare for your birth, stick around for the rest of this video. Hi, my name is Leslie. I'm a disciple, wife, mom, and childbirth doula, and this is where I share about all things birth, faith, and family with my sweet children in the back. My love. She's definitely made for the camera. I believe she loves these videos. I hope you love this video too. So we have gone through, I'm going through the acronym of how I help women prepare for birth step by step. Number 1, healing. Number 2, E is for education. Number 3 is A for advocacy. We're spelling the word health here. So L today, we're going to talk about loving and learning to lean on your team. How important it is, the relationship you have with the team that is around you to support you during pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. Now, those 3 parts are important. Ladies, we have to learn to be able to lean on our partners for their support during birth. This is not just something you do by yourself and your partner is a bystander and just watches. This is something where your partner can really engage, help to support you, be your number 1 support system during this process. Even if you do have a doula, your birth partner can still be your number 1 support, because here's one thing that a doula doesn't have that your partner has over a doula, and that is relationship with you. That is love with you. That is getting that oxytocin pumping, being able to keep you in producing that love hormone throughout birth, being able to be an emotional support in that way because he's in relationship with you. That is something that your partner has over your doula. And this is why I think that husbands make great partners for birth. They just need to be shown and be prepared and be helped along the way. So you can take this time during your pregnancy, like we talked about in the last video, to have him, 1, practice advocating for you, right, during your prenatal visits. 2, help him get educated on the basics of what he needs to know during birth too, so he can help support you, taking that childbirth education class with him, helping him get some hands-on tools. What kind of counter pressure can he be doing? What kind of sacral press can he be doing? What kind of massage can he be doing that can help you, right? What are some things that he could just be thinking about to keep you, hey, she hasn't had water in a while, or hey, she hasn't gone to the bathroom. That's the number 1 thing I like to tell partners is, hey, while you're at home, make sure she's going to the bathroom every 30 minutes to an hour. Make sure she's constantly emptying her bladder. Make sure she's staying hydrated. Make sure she eats if she's able to eat before she leaves. All of that stuff before we even get to the birth center, right? Your partner is the person who is with you when labor starts. And therefore, this is just such an opportunity to really have him be able to help you, okay? So 1, you have that love with them, but also learn to lean on him for support. There's actual moves where you're leaning on him. So that is a critical step, right? So if there's anything in your relationship, in your marriage, that you feel like, hey, we're not doing so great here, addressing those things in advance can really help to make sure that there's no tension when birth starts. And it can also help you to just relax your body enough to go into labor naturally. If you aren't stressed about anything going on in your marriage or your home or your relationships with certain people that are going to be there, that is so critical. And I say this to get you to think about everyone who could potentially be at your birth, okay? So I want you to think about, is your mom gonna be at your birth? Is your mother-in-law gonna be at your birth? Is your sister gonna be at your birth? Anybody who is going to be there. These are people that should also be preparing with you for what it's gonna be like for birth. And they should also make sure that they are emotionally prepared to be there to support you, okay? And so learning to lean on them also requires building that trust and making sure that you guys are clear about expectations. So learning to lean on them will be easier once you've clearly identified and set out, like, hey, Mom, I expect you to be there, and what I really want you to be there is be there as like my cheerleader, my emotional support. Like, I want you there, like, just encouraging me, praying over me, whatever it is that you want that person there for, communicating that, right? Your team beyond just the people who are present with you. I have a whole video on like why consider a doula. That is something that you should consider if you are considering having a doula, making sure that you are clear about what your expectations are from your doula and communicating that in advance. I say that's what the initial interview is for, to ask all those questions and make sure that you're a good fit. But making sure that expectations are clear will just help your team be able to better support you. So don't shy away from those hard conversations. Press into them now during pregnancy before you have this baby, okay? Before you go into labor. I will also say another thing is that you can, your team also goes even beyond the people who are there for birth. Well, let's touch a couple more people that are at the birth. Is your doctor, your provider, whoever, your doctor, your midwife, whoever it is that's going to be there. That relationship is important too. And this is why I mentioned during the past videos is that it's so important for you to recognize if you're a part of a practice, if you're seeing an OB practice or a midwifery practice, make sure you are visiting with the different providers so you're building relationships with them and starting to practice having conversations with them. You know, I say, you know, love your team. It's great if you have a provider that you love and is like super supportive. But that also may not always be the case, and that's also okay. You can learn to work with the team that you have. So that's what I mean, learning to lean on them, learning to work with the team that you've got, practicing that as much as you can during birth so you know what to expect when you go into labor. If you have a provider who's fighting you every step of the way for all the natural things you want to do, then be aware of that and figure out how you're going to navigate that with your partner, with whoever's going to be there to support you, with your doula. Have those conversations now. There's just so much you can do during these 9 months to help prepare you for that. Another thing you can do is to start praying for your nurses. Start praying for the nurses who will be there, because that's not something you can really dictate. Whoever it is that's going to be on shift when you go into labor, start praying for them. Start praying for all those people that are going to be a part of the birth when you deliver, and start praying that God just protects you and keeps you in that space, and that God would appoint specific people for those times that would help to encourage you, that would help to motivate you, that would be his hands and feet in the room for you when you go into labor. I also encourage you to pray, get together a team of people to pray for you when you go into labor, or even when you're going through things in your pregnancy. People who believe God for the things you're believing for God to do. And this can be a small group. It could be one person. It could be two that you text to let them know, hey, I'm in labor, and they start praying for you. Or hey, I'm going through this, and they're praying for you. There is just so... There's power in prayer. There's power in intercession. There's so many things. I'm doing Bible study with my children this week, and we're studying prayer and why prayer is so important and why our communion with God is so essential. And God is so good. Even today, during the story where we were listening about how Jonah prayed. Jonah was in the belly of a fish because of his own disobedience, and God still answered his prayer. God still heard his prayer. And so don't let anything separate you from coming to God in prayer. And also let other people intercede for you and come to God in prayer for you. And to stand in the gap while you're experiencing birth, other people praying for you and lifting you up and just covering you it's powerful. It does have an impact. God does hear the prayer of his saints. And so I encourage you to build up that prayer team. And then I don't want you to forget this. This is so important, is your postpartum team. Who you have with you. Who are you going to lean on to help, to be comfortable with, letting them come over when you just get home, letting them take care of you, letting them do your laundry, letting them do your dishes, letting them bring you meals, letting them help you with the things that happen in postpartum. Who do you feel comfortable doing that with? I want you to think about that. I want you to start working and start thinking about and praying about who those people are, and that God would bring them into your life. They could be people from your church. I don't know if your church does anything like a meal train. I recommend putting a meal train on your registry. It's a great way for people to give you an added little gift. Like they can either sign up to give you a meal your first day home or your first week's home. At my church, we do a meal train for everybody who has a baby. I think it's a great way to support. So maybe you know somebody who's expecting. You can start a meal train for them with their friends and family and get people to agree to bring them meals for the first 2 weeks, for the first month, for the first 3 months of having a baby. It's a hard season. Women need support. And I get emotional about this because I think this is so important. This is really where we get to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And this is really where you let Jesus love on you by allowing these people to support you in this season. Postpartum is hard enough. It can be hard enough as it is, especially with a first baby, even multiple. it can be a very hard season and it can seem very isolating. And that's what the enemy wants. He wants to take that season and make it an isolating season for you. This is why this step of learning to lean on your team, learning to trust your team, learning and loving your team, surrounding yourself with love during the pregnancy, during the birth, and during the postpartum period is so essential. Okay, mamas? So I hope that you'll take this and you'll start praying about who these people are in your life, who you're going to invite into this season of your life, and you're going to have God. If you don't have these people in your life, pray for God to bring these people into your life, okay? And I encourage you, find a church community that you can call home, where you will find these people and they will just love on you in this season and take care of you as a mother so that you can take care of your child. And so with that, I'll let you go because my children are ready to go. God bless y'all. I hope this video has been encouraging. Y'all know what to do below. Let me know how I can be praying for you, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless you. Bye.